All right. We have Mark Krause in the house. That's Ian's music director's father. Very talented musician as well. So what a treat we're in for today. It's our last Sunday service, but of course we have our Christmas Eve candlelight coming up. So please, we invite you to come to that too, and there's going to be fabulous music there. I'm Reverend Valorie, and I'd like to welcome you all to our Sunday service celebrating the joy of Christmas. And we are so blessed. We are so blessed, and we are so grateful for all who have served in our outreach this year, in our Caritas outreach, and also in so many other ways. You'll hear more about that a little bit later. You see, we have some poinsettias up here that are dedicated to our loved ones, and we'll share who those names are a little later as well. But let us just now pause for an opening prayer. We breathe in and we breathe out, and we center ourselves into the heart space. And we open our hearts to these qualities of Advent, that of hope, of love, of peace, and of joy. And as we come together in service to celebrate the birth of this light on earth, the birth of Jesus and all that wonderful teachings that he taught us of being one with the Father and being the light of the world. So we dedicate this day to expressing that love, that peace, and that joy. And we are grateful for our connections of love and appreciation for one another. And we just give thanks. And so it is. Amen. And Mayor Taylor is our service leader today.
Wishing everyone a roaring happy Advent season. All right, so let's do our unity principle. Together there is one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God the good. And today our word is joy. So our daily word for today, reading, my Advent journey leads me to joy. There's a stirring in the air that calls me to rejoice. The imminent birth of the Christ into humanity is an exciting time. Joy is the welcoming of unconditional love, and the deep knowing it is the birthright of all the world's beings. It is the awe felt at the birth of a baby, the scent of crisp, clean air, or watching a comet flame across the night sky. These are some of the wonders that bring me joy. I need not wait for these serendipitous happenings to awaken my joy. As I have embarked on the Advent journey, I have grown in faith, peace, and love. With joy, my Advent journey is nearing completion. This wonderful feeling of deep contentment, a full heart, and tranquil mind leads to the expectancy of the birth of the Christ within, the greatest gift I could receive. When they saw the star had stopped, they were overwhelmed with joy. Matthew 2:10. And our statement for today, I'll read it once and I invite you to say it with me twice. My Advent journey leads me to joy. And together, my Advent journey leads me to joy. And with vigor, my Advent journey leads me to joy.
Please stand and joyfully sing with us.
1, 2, 3. Melakaliki is the thing to say on a bright Hawaiian Christmas day. That's the island greeting that we send to you from the land where palm trees sway. Here we know that Christmas will be green and bright. Sun will shine by day and all the stars at night. Melancholinki Maka is the wise way to say Merry Christmas to you. Melancholinki Maka is the thing to say on a bright Hawaiian Christmas day. That's the island greeting that we send to you from the land where palm trees stand. On Christmas will be green and bright. The sun will shine by day and all the stars at night. Alakaliki Maka is a wise way to say Merry Christmas to you.
All right. In keeping with our joyful theme this morning, our Advent candle is joy. New opportunities, well-being, and tidings of great joy are being born unto you. As we open to seeing, being, and radiating joy, we also open to blessings, expanding our consciousness of God's presence within. We find delight in the birth of each new day, each new segment of our lives, and new ways of being in this world. From Psalm 5:11, let all who take refuge in you rejoice. Let them ever sing for joy. So on this day in Advent, I spread joy. Together, let's say, I spread joy. Once more, I spread joy. Yes, we do. Ta-da! Technology.
All right, we got some opportunities happening. And I would also like to take a moment before I proceed with the opportunities to thank everyone that participated in the Friday Caritas celebration, the donations that came in, and all the wonderful volunteers that participated. I heard it was a rockin' time. Okay, so let's see here. I'm going to look at these two so I can see this at the same time. Christmas caroling. Join us for a joyful evening of Christmas caroling. We'll gather at Unity of Richmond before venturing out into the night with festive music and holiday cheer. Let's bring smiles, laughter, and the spirit of the season to our community. This sounds really fun. The need to be able to sing is not required. I will be there. All right, and let's see. Join us for the Christmas Eve candlelight service right here, and that's going to be December 24th. That's going to be at 6:30 p.m. So 6:30 p.m. That's a little bit of a different time, so do make a note of that. Christmas dinner will be here. Join us in fellowship for our annual Christmas dinner. Ham and turkey will be provided, but please do bring a side dish. It'll be in person right downstairs here at Unity of Richmond, and that is going to be on Christmas Day at 1 p.m. And, oh yes, our Release and Renew Burning Bowl service and Letters to Your Future Self. So that will be this New Year's Eve, December 31st, and that's at 6 p.m. We got some different times happening here. So we had to remember these different times. So this is at, what? Okay, well, let's make sure before we... So to put a pin in that, and we're going to double check on the start time, and our lovely, let's see, event card. The event card says 7, yes, 7 p.m. Okay, so we will have that be at 7, that's 7 p.m., the usual time that I'm thinking of when we meet in the evening for our Release and Renew service. Dances of Universal Peace. Hopefully that will be at noon on New Year's Day, January 1st. Join us for this mini retreat with a shared meal, dances of universal peace, meditation, music, poetry, and potentially, other forms of creative expression. And bring along a friend. The dances of universal peace are simple, meditative, and joyous circle dances that use sacred phrases, chants, movements, and music from the world's wisdom traditions for the soul and all the earth. We've done those here before, and it was really quite lovely and very meaningful. Yeah. So let's see. So the lovely Reverend Richard Bunch will be here as the guest speaker for the White Stone service, and that is Sunday, January 5th at 11. And of course, that will be both in person and live streamed. And then here it comes. We have the Poinsettias Memorial Service, and this is honoring of people that we are, the poinsettias were donated in memory of individuals, and we want to just thank everyone who has participated in that. And you can see all the names. A little bit hard for me to make them out from here. And let's see. I also want to add another announcement, and that is that we want to thank all of our current board members. So do we have any board members here? Please stand up if we do. And let's give them a hand. All right. So thank you so much. And we are currently taking board applications. So if you would like to be a board member, you can pick up one of these from the office, or you can also download an application to be a board member from the newsletter. So you got 2 ways of doing that. Okay, and let's see if there's any last announcements. I think that might be the whole kit and caboodle. Yes, that is. Okay, so I think we have some music coming up, don't we? All right, let's hit it.
When I watch the news, it makes me cry for all of the anger I see. So many souls believing the lie that hatred is all they can be. So I take a chance to offer my prayer, to whisper the truth. And I believe today is the day that my message gets through. That we are all children of the God of love. We are all meant to be instruments of peace. There's no heart to them for a friend. We are all the same. There is only one, 'cause everyone is born with God's name. When I watch the news, where do we start? How do we heal so much pain? The answer is clear. We open our hearts and let love wash away every stain. 'Cause peace in our time begins with a smile, with one open hand. And when we teach by example, the world is sure to understand that we are children of the God of love. We are all meant to be instruments of peace. There's no heart to them for a friend. We are all the same. There is only one, 'cause everyone is born with God's name. We are all children of the God of love. We are all meant to be instruments of peace. There's no heart to them for a friend. We are all the same. There is only one, 'cause everyone is born with God's name. With God's name. With God's name. With God's name. Thank you.
Fabulous. Thank you, Mark Krause, Ian Krause, Forrest Link, and Ryan Bowman. We are truly so blessed with such wonderful heart and musical gifts of talent. Not just yet. Thank you. All right. I'm going. Today's service is. We are in for a treat. It's presented by myself and Stephen Ryan and our Readers Tour group, because we are talking about the metaphysical Christmas today and completing that journey that we've been talking about, that metaphysical trip to Bethlehem. Since the week of Advent, I've been sharing how the nativity story can be interpreted with a deeper meaning and how it can be understood more deeply when we look at that story as our story. I shared with you, so I'm going to give you a little review in the first week or two about how the Nativity or Bible, the story, or any other story of the Bible could be interpreted in these three ways: the literal, the moral, and the metaphysical. And the literal is simply the who, what, when, where, why of the story, taking it at face value. And then the moral is the interpreted meaning or implied lesson of our choices and our behavior. So for the trip to Bethlehem, for example, there's this story, of God coming down to Mary and telling her she has this incredible mission of bringing forth the Son of God. So how we can apply that meaning in our own lives is how do we follow the divine plan of our life? Do you receive an impulse, a divine impulse, and do you follow it? Do you move forward with it, or do you resist it, or do you so we want to listen to that guidance when it comes. And then there is the metaphysical. We look at the story as how it exists in our own consciousness. That is how we view in unity the Bible as well as religious science and New Thought, because we look at the Bible as a journey in consciousness from that perceived separation from the divine to the union with the divine, which Jesus fulfilled. So those are the three ways. And Hypatia Hasbrook, I've been referring to her book, The Trip to Bethlehem. It instructs us that myth has meaning for everyone. And so if we look at a story as myth, then we can interpret it in these ways, because you don't have to be religious. You can be non-religious and still have, receive meaning from these stories, because the people, the places, and the things all stand for universal truths. Now, Reverend Ed Townley, he was a Bible scholar, passed away in 2020. He wrote an article in one of the Advent booklets, and it was all about the Nativity story. And he said, quote, "The Bible is our own spiritual journey." Journal, not journey, but journal. The story of the individual and the collective growth and awareness that brings us year after year to the dawn of a new Christmas. See, we all have a Mary within that's about to give birth to something new in our lives through the creative process. We all have a Joseph that will take the action necessary to manifest that birth. And we all have our own divine messengers or angels and shepherds and magi. And as we're going to be sharing and demonstrating today in this service, for we are ever progressing on that journey in consciousness to awaken and embody that true nature, that pure Christ spirit within. Now, Ed Townley further says, these figures live within us whether we observe Christmas or not, because it celebrates the birth of the Christ child, but also because it appeals to the very depths of our being. It stirs all of us because the Christ child represents our higher self, the true self of everyone. And that child is within us in our depths. For we know that at some time we are destined to take that mystical trip to our inner Bethlehem, the birthplace of a higher self. So today, I've invited Stephen Ryan to share some more on this topic, and he's going to come up and share that. And then after that, our Readers Theater will come up as well.
Hello. The following are some reflections on Christmas from a religious science perspective by Raymond Charles Barker, who's the iconic Science of Mind writer, author of Treat Yourself to Life, etc. The passage from which this is excerpt is called "The Wise Follow the Stars." The symbols of Christmas give us joy, and its holiday spirit gives us inspiration. But the very word holiday means holy day, and we who are seeking to live rightly and lovingly find it a time to recapture the inner vision of the Christ-like person that indwells us all. Our minds have been like the inn at Bethlehem, filled to overflowing with intellectual convictions until there has been no room for the thoughts of healing and peace. We have been so busy with the affairs of this world that we have failed to perceive that at the back door of our minds, the Christ was waiting for us to behold him as he really is. We have feasted on our wisdom of things, but we have not satisfied our inner hunger for the kingdom of God, or rather the kingdom of good. But always the Christ child waits within us. Whenever we wish to turn within and visit our own true selves, the Christ awaits us with eternal patience. We know intuitively that there are inner gifts that must be made, and we shall not find peace until we have released these unto the Christ within. These are the nourishment needed by the inner self in order to increase its area of activity in our lives. So, at Christmas, we should turn within and be like those wise men and do this real giving of ourselves, which is not easy, but which guarantees so much that is true and good. Once this inner experience of true prayer and baptism has taken place, we join with the other wise men and go home by another way. The old path has lost its value. It now appears as the hard way because it is the false way. We cannot go back to our former concepts of material values, but with a renewed mind and an expanded heart, we return to the business of living by the new pathway of the soul, beholding God incarnated within ourselves. We have been born again, and this time we see the infinite presence and know it from a center within. The Star of Bethlehem is in the high consciousness of each of us. It bids us follow the inner pathway through the wilderness of wrong beliefs to that simple, quiet place within where Christ awaits us. Here alone is wisdom, for here the infinite mind thinks, and the infinite love heals. We shall join hands this holy day with the wise men of old and follow the star of our own Christ selves. The people that walked in darkness have seen a great light. Isaiah 9:2. This passage was originally published in Science of Mind magazine in December 1948. And now will the Readers Theater cast join me on stage? Cast, are we all open to page 1? I've directed before, you know. The Metaphysical Christmas. A maiden was betrothed to a man whose name was Joseph, and the maiden's name was Mary. And the angel said unto her, Fear not, Mary, you have found favor with God. And behold, you shall conceive in thy womb, and bring forth a son, and shall call his name Jesus. He shall be great, and shall be called the Son of the Most High, and of his kingdom there shall be no end.
I represent Mary, the mother of Jesus. I am the perfect love that fills your soul. I am that in you which desires to see only the good come to you and to every other creature in the universe. I am that in you which never wants to hurt in any way, for I am open and receptive only to that which is good and true. I am the gentlest aspect of the love in your heart, yet I am strong and perfect because all the power of good in the universe is with me and approves of me. I am the kindness and sweetness of your nature, out of which will be born the understanding of your true self, a child of God.
I represent Joseph, the husband of Mary. I am the strength and wisdom within you, which protects and guides the love in your soul. Sometimes others suggest that I should separate myself from this love, that his love is making a fool of me, and I cannot do this, for I am only satisfied and complete when joined with love. I will never desert the love in your heart. I will nourish and support the new and wonderful good which will come out of our union.
And I represent the town of Bethlehem. I show you that through your days in life, even though space may be crowded and jammed full, there will always be room in your heart for the divine love to be born in ever greater ways. You come to me to take care of ordinary worldly responsibilities. You are richly blessed and prosperous as you are willing to take care of your daily duties. Here in the midst of the crowds and pressures, you know that the most glorious moments in your life are not the so-called days of success, but rather those weary days when out of rejection, being shoved back, having been put down, you still know that nothing can keep God's good from manifesting in your life and your world. You choose to bring forth positive changes in your life so that you can be a happier, healthier, a more prosperous and peaceful person.
Wise men came from the east to Jerusalem, saying, "Where is he born King of the Jews? For we saw his star in the east, and have come to worship him." And lo, the star which they saw in the east went before them until it came and stood over where the young child was.
I represent the star which guided the wise men. I am your intuition. Sometimes I may seem a mere flick in the sky of your mind, but as you recognize me and learn to trust me and to follow me, I become brighter and more familiar. God has given me to you as a special gift to lead you to your highest good. Trust me, follow me, for I will not fail you, nor lead you astray. I am attracted only to the best and true.
For we saw his star in the east, and are come to worship him. And lo, the star which they saw in the east went before them until it came and stood over them where the child was. When the wise men saw the star, they rejoiced with exceeding great joy.
I represent the wise men from the east. I am all the hidden and buried powers deep within each of you, which you are so often unaware. As soon as you came to a new realization of your wonderful true self, I came to you as further evidence of the great spiritual resources that have always been with you. I brought you the gifts of newly discovered truths about yourself. My gold shows the richness of your spiritual nature. My frankincense shows the beauty of your true character. My myrrh shows the eternal perfection of your life in God.
For we saw his star in the east, and have come to worship him. And lo, the star which they saw in the east went before them until it came and stood over where the young child was. And when the wise men saw the star, they rejoiced with exceeding great joy. And they came into the house and saw the young child with Mary, his mother. And they fell down and worshipped him. And opening their treasures, they offered unto him gifts, gold, frankincense, and myrrh.
I represent the Christ child. I am the sum total of all the good which is real in you. I am the love in your heart, the wisdom in your mind, and the peace in your soul. You have given me birth out of your very own nature, just as God created you out of its spirit. I am that in you which blesses you and makes you a living blessing. Sometimes you feel separated from me. Now, because of Christmas, you have finally realized you and I are really one. We are eternally one in God.
And so it is.
Thank you. That script came from Unity. I was gifted a Unity flash drive some years ago, and the flash drive had various services and special scripts like that. It didn't have a credit though, unfortunately, so I don't know who Anonymous, that prolific writer, is the one who put that together. All right, so let's come to bring this all together. Now, during the Christmas season, I like to sit down there and I like to watch old and new holiday movies. And there are a lot of films which, when interpreted metaphysically, also speak to our transformational journey, especially these Christmas ones. And the ones that are, one of the classics was The Bishop's Wife, the Cary Grant movie, and then later The Preacher's Wife, which had Whitney Houston and Denzel Washington. It's a Wonderful Life. All of these films, in them, the plot, there comes a divine messenger, an angel, that intervenes in times of self-doubt, difficulty, and lost hope. These angels represent that Holy Spirit within you, offering guidance and solutions to life's problems and challenges, to break us open to that awareness of that living presence of good, that pure holy light that is within and all around and everywhere present. And always out comes the dawn. I'm reminded of the scripture in Psalm 35 that says, "Weeping may endure for the night, but joy cometh in the morning." Now, there are some practices that we can do to help us stay on track or get back on track if we've lost our way. First, of course, is prayer and meditation, because that allows us to quiet the mind, and that allows us to get to know our true essence, our true inner self, and foster that deep awareness of love and compassion. The second one is, of course, in Unity, we use affirmations. We declare our divine nature, reinforce our connection to that presence through using our affirmations. So here's one from the Daily Word: I am a divine being. There you go. That's an affirmation. Third, our acts of service and kindness toward others. That helps open our hearts, and it blesses others at the same time as we are blessed by being of service and the joy that comes from being of service. So The Preacher's Wife tells a story of that transformative journey where love and faith and divine intervention intersect. And it beautifully demonstrates or illustrates that awakening to the divinity within, as each of the characters and their struggles and desires ultimately lead to a realization of their true selves. Now, the angel that was Dudley in the movie serves as the guiding light, reminding us that divine guidance is always present encouraging us to tap into that inherent goodness and potential. And just as each of those characters help us to find clarity and purpose, our own awakening invites us to recognize those divine messages, the angels in our lives that guide us toward hope and love and compassion and joy and peace. So this story also is our story, and it emphasizes that we are never alone, and that divinity, that inner divinity, that connection is always accessible to us. We just need to shift our awareness so that we can be in the presence, be the presence. So as Ed Townley said, we are destined to take that metaphysical trip to Bethlehem, the birthplace of your higher self. Now, I shared a carol last week that I had rewritten for Reverend Richard Bunch when I was an intern. And there was another one that I did as well, which is perfect for our ending today. And I took the carol of O Little Town of Bethlehem and set it to O Birthplace of My Consciousness. It's about that awakening. And so to conclude, I'll share that with you now. O birthplace of my consciousness, how still you are inside. Above thy deep and dreamless sleep, the light of God shines bright. Out of dark streets in the mind is the everlasting light. The hopes and fears of all the years give way to this insight. How silently the wondrous gift is given. Beginner's mind and childlike heart bring forth divine expression. The bread of life sustains me with everlasting worth. The purest thoughts and words and deeds give birth to love on earth. All right, thank you. Let us prepare for meditation now. By going within to that inner sanctum of the soul, allowing ourselves that gift of the pause, to get quiet and go within. Just still thoughts of the mind, and just notice, not resist them, but to just let whatever chatter comes up, just let them bubble and float away. Right here and right now, we are coming together to connect with our inner light, the inner love, and the inner peace, and the inner joy that is our divine nature. And we continue to just breathe and release with each breath more deeply, letting any tension to relax. and sense or imagine that bright star that is in the sky that guided the Magi. See that star twinkling and beaming and radiating. Because as we see the stars in the vast night sky, we also know that the sun is still giving light by day, and the stars are giving light by night. And so, whatever challenges or difficulties that may have been up until this moment, we release, we let go, we surrender. I release, I let go, I surrender. I release, I let go, I surrender. This too shall pass. And everything that comes into my life is for me, not against me, but for me to awaken to that sacred light, that light of the soul. And in the words of Patanjali, I am the light of the soul. I am bountiful. I am bliss. I am, I am. I am, I am. I am that. And just as the song that Ian sang, that we are all born with God's name, I am, that I am. I listen to the divine messengers in my life, or messages that come from divine wisdom. I offer my gifts as the Magi, gold, frankincense, and myrrh. I offer myself as a gift of service to the world and to humanity, to the planet. And I remember, as Jesus said, you are the light of the world. We don't want to hide that light. We want to share it. The one verse that we need to share with is ourselves, that human part of us. And then to each other. So let us just sit in the silence now, or in the stillness of that holy presence. Which is called many names. So we allow that radiance of the sun to fill our mind, our heart, our soul. For as we are all we are all part of the atoms that came out of the Big Bang, you know. So all the atoms that are in the sun and the stars are also in us. And so we allow that light, that radiance to wash away grief and sadness, anger, so that we can know joy and peace and love and be joy and peace and love. And we give thanks. We give thanks for the awakening to knowing our worth as precious, just like the Christ child. And so it is. Amen. Take some deep breaths and wiggle your fingers and your toes. Move in any way that feels right for you. And there is going to close out the service.
Thank you for that lovely meditation. So, together, let us affirm our prosperity blessing. Divine love flows from me as a spirit of generosity. I know that as I give generously, I enter the flow of abundance. Every good possibility comes into view as I swim in the stream of infinite good. I am the harmony of divine love, blessed and overflowing.
Winter's here, it's the time of year to celebrate the season. Family and friends, the joy never ends. Our connection is the reason. And the very best part is the love in our heart. Be the light that shines in the dark. Be the hope. All it takes is a spark. If love is to me, it all starts with you and me. Be the light, be the light, be the light. Winter's here and it's the time of year to celebrate the season. Family and friends, the joy never ends. connection is the reason, and the very best part is the love in our hearts. Be the light that shines in the dark. Be the hope. All it takes is a spark. If love is to me, it all starts with you and me. Be the light, be the light, be the light. Darkest night, there's a shining light, shining so bright. Be the light that shines in the dark. Be the hope. Little takes is a spark. If love is to me, it all starts with you and me. Be the light, be the light, be the light. Be the light, be the light, be the light. Be the light, be the light, be the light. Be the light, be the light, be the light. Thank you.
And we thank our lovely ushers. And together, let us affirm, we give thanks for the gifts that will support our mission of creating a spiritually awakened world. And so it is. So we have a number of thank yous that I would like to say for our lovely ongoing musicians of Ian and Forrest and Ryan, and for the lovely relation, I believe, of Mark Krause joining us today. What a treat. Thank you. Which are our prayer chaplains today? Oh, okay, and so we recognize our prayer chaplains. If you have a prayer that you would like to say with Stephen after the service, he is available. I also would like to thank everybody in the back. I see Lynn Rafferty back there. Anybody else we got? Bernice and Tasha. Woohoo! Thank you, AV team. We thank the wonderful sermon and organization for such a lovely service today with Reverend Valorie. Thank you. I'd like to thank the Readers Theater. That was a lovely rendition. Thanks so much. Bringing Christmas to light for us. And let's see. Also, there's a close of the silent auction at midnight tonight. So check your bids and get in any last remaining bids that you have. Okay. And let me see, what else am I supposed to do for thank yous here? We also, for Debbie and everybody who does everything for this church, thanks so much. And do we have any little people? Okay, so let's...
We are walking as the light, as the light, as the light. We are walking as the light, as the light of God. As the light, 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 as the light of God. What'd y'all get into?
A lot of coloring today.
You want to show your colors? Okay, that's a tightly held secret.
Yes, you have to subscribe to her YouTube channel. You'll see it.
For our middle schoolers, we had an awesome session, if you can hear me. But we watched Christmas Carol, very short version, and got reacquainted with what we learned about greed and how we can change our hearts and things like that when we see others do things. And then the last part was we made a list, and it was not for Santa, because we did the list of the 12 unity powers and how that's something that we already have inside each of us. And then we did examples of how we can remember to strengthen those for ourselves, and we don't have to get it from anybody else but inside of us. And the ones that we just wanted to share, we also did some stippling, so we are very artistic minded here. But the ones that we're going to work on the most this year are faith, power, understanding, and order. So that was our lesson today.
Thank you, Kara. All right. Want to stay up here and sing or go down? Okay. One more thing.
Chairs that were left over from the Friday gathering? Yeah, so head on downstairs after the service. And let's say our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Want to hold hands? Let's hold hands. Over here. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as Creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment and be seen